here to talk about the importance of balancing interpersonal relationships and self-care by creating healthy boundaries, creating space, and honoring your decision-making process to work for your highest and greatest good. Now, we've all been there before. We got the needy friend that's always seeking attention and it's constantly needing to have you there physically, energetically. We also have the family member that you do absolutely everything for, to the point that it stopped being a favor and it's now starting to look like some sort of obligation. Also the employer that somehow forgot how to run their business and now depends on you to do absolutely everything for them. It is crucial with interpersonal relationships to create a balance between the relationship and self-care. Why? Because you will eventually find yourself in a position where you're giving, and that will lead to emotional depletion, physical fatigue, disappointment, irritability, and probably even strained relationships with the people that you love the most. Now, how can I break away from these constant demands of my time, of my energy, without feeling guilty or hurting someone else's feelings? Well, it's a little something called healthy boundaries, and I'll show you how you can start creating them with these simple tips. The culture of immediacy that we have created, given the amount of technology and just fast-paced world that we live in, has somehow convinced our brains that every problem, challenge, decision, choice that has to be made requires an immediate response. We have removed critical thinking, emotional, spiritual, somatic awareness out of the equation when making these decisions. It is important to remember that there's always a choice, and it is crucial to create space in which you can actually sit down with yourself, analyze the decision-making process, and put all these factors into the equation once again so that you can make a better decision next time around. You don't have to immediately respond. Practice saying no if something just automatically feels off to you. Listen to your intuition when that happens. If for some reason you just don't feel comfortable making a decision at the moment, don't feel pressured to do so, and create that space for yourself by simply saying, you know what? Let me think that over. I'll get right back to you. Grant yourself space to think it through and check in with yourself to see if you really want to partake in what has been offered to you. Practice letting go of the guilt of having to be there for someone all the time, to the point where you start chipping away at yourself and you really start to drop the ball on self-care. Hey, maybe you don't want to go to the mall on Saturday because it's your only day off and you were really looking forward to just relaxing and being alone. There's nothing wrong with that. It's important to start practicing the word no. Use it a little more often in your vocabulary. And when it's difficult to say no, really analyze, use self-awareness here to see exactly where this discomfort is coming from. Is it guilt? Is it shame? Do you feel a need to please others around you all the time? Or do you feel indebted maybe with others? Maybe they did something for you and you feel that there's an obligation for you to actually step up to the plate and be there for them in the way that they're demanding you to. So make it a practice. Yes, you're going to find a special bunch that are going to retaliate to you reclaiming your personal power. Now, to that, it is what it is. People will eventually get used to it once you start setting those boundaries and consistently keeping them in place. As you start creating boundaries and start creating that space consistently, you will find that people will begin to get used to it. Expect a little retaliation here and there because they might be used to you always being readily available, and the shock of a no, or you know what, I'll take a pass on that one, or even creating the space to think about something might throw people off. So just remember that this reaction will be normal. So for that special bunch that for whatever reason feel that they need to remove themselves from your life or are just not happy with this newfound power and these boundaries that you've set in place, remember that the ones that complain or leave are usually the ones that benefited from your lack of boundaries to begin with. So there you have it, folks. Just a couple of tips on how to start creating healthy boundaries so that you find yourself at balance with your interpersonal relationships and self-care. If you enjoyed these tips and found them useful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for additional content. For one-on-one coaching sessions, feel free to visit my website at www.myluminousLiving.com. Once again, that's www.myluminousLiving.com, where you can book your life coaching sessions with myself, Life Coach Rachel Vargas. For additional life tips, make sure to check out my blog on the website, myluminousLiving.com, where you'll find a variety of personal essays and articles on the personal development and healing journey. Thank you for watching, and remember that the key to living a luminous life is stored within you, in the essence of your soul.